Alright, this is the video for 3.3 day 2 real world scenarios. We're just going to be continuing to complete ratio tables so you can have more practice with that, and then after we work on some of these real world scenarios, you will have more work time to complete the 3.3 practice that was assigned on Big Ideas Math. And so as always, please make sure that you've already copied the notes down before you watch the video. Essential question, how can I use ratio tables to solve real-world scenarios? Here's your entry task. Please complete the ratio table using equivalent ratios. We have miles and we have hours, and we have these 3 blank spots right here. So the one that is given is 4 to 3. So you want to start with 4 to 3. And because everything in here is equivalent, we know that it is equal to blank to 6. And now we can see what's happening. 3 to 6 is times 2. So you must do it to the top. 4 times 2 is 8. We can choose to use 4 to 3, or we could use 8 to 6 because 8 goes into 24 pretty nicely. So 8 to 6 is equal 24 to blank. 8 to 24, 8 times 3 is 24. And so 6 times 3 is 8. Again, you could use 4, 8, or 24 to do the last one. I'm going to use 24. 24 over 18 is equal to 96 to blank. 24 times 4 is 96. So 18 times 4, I'm actually not sure what that is. 18 times 4, 8 times 4 is 32, looks like it is 72. There you go, that's completing a ratio table. More practice with that. Example 1, in a real world situation, there are 75 grams of salt in 12 crackers. You eat 30 crackers, how much salt is that? Well, the real question, right, if we know that it's 75 to 12 is equal to blank to 30, the problem with this is that we can't go from 12 to 30. It's just not pretty. So we have to find a common factor in order to get there. We need to add one extra step to help us get to 30. And that extra step that I decided was to put 6. Because we can figure out 12 to 6 is divided by 2. So you can do 75 divided by 2, which I believe is 37.5. Calculators, guys, calculators. And then you can go from 6 to 30, which is times 5. And so 37.5 times 5, 37.5 times 5 is 187.5. Key concept. Whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. Key concepts there. And then example 2, you and Kizo are making frosting. So you and Kizo are making frosting. You add 3 drops of red food coloring for every 1 drop of blue. Kizo adds 5 red for every 3 blue. Whose frosting is more red? So remember, when we talk about ratios, we have parts, and totals. Well, in this situation, you're going to need to know the totals. All right, so we made 2 different graphs here, or 2 different tables here. One for your frosting, red, blue, total. So if you have 3 reds and 1 blue, you have a total of 4 drops. If Kizo has 5 red and 3 blue, he has a total of 8 drops. Well, it's hard to compare 4 drops to 8 drops. So, but if I doubled everything, if I did everything times 2, then I would have a total of 8 drops, and he would have a total of 8 drops. And when they both have the same totals, we can see that your frosting has more red food coloring than the other one. Right, so in order to be able to compare, you need to be able to compare the totals. That was the big takeaway from this problem. But really what today's lesson was giving you more time to practice completing ratio tables. So yeah, email me if you have any